Okay, we're going to be talking about the election of 2020. And the best way to understand the election of 2020 is to go back to the election of 2016. But briefly, election of 2020, as you know, on the Republican side, the incumbent President Donald Trump and his Vice President Mike Pence. Mike Pence is a former governor of Indiana. And Donald Trump, of course, is a businessman, controller of the Trump organization. He's estimated to be worth between $3 and $4 billion, the wealthiest man ever to be elected president of the United States. On the Democrat side, Joe Biden, the former vice president to Barack Obama, is now the Democrat nominee, and Senator Kamala Harris, senator from the state of California, is the vice presidential choice. Joe Biden is from Delaware, and he served in the Senate for a very long time, first being elected in the early 1970s. And he ran for president 2 times and failed. And so this is his 3rd time at trying to get the presidency. Kamala Harris ran for the presidency this year and didn't get very far, and she dropped out pretty early in the process. She is born in Oakland. She is the daughter of immigrants. Her mother is from India, and her dad is from Jamaica. Okay, so election of 2016 is one of the most controversial and surprising elections in American history. Hillary Clinton, the wife of the former President Bill Clinton, a U.S. Senator, a Secretary of State, highly qualified in terms of her background, was the nominee of the Democrat Party. And she chose as her vice president a senator from Virginia, Tim Kaine. Most people had never heard of Tim Kaine, and he really didn't do much to help her ticket. Senator Clinton had run for the presidency in 2008 against Barack Obama and had lost. The Clinton name had been involved in national politics since 1992. Bill Clinton actually attempted to run in 1988, but didn't. But starting in 1992, they've been involved, and they have been, no other way to say it, in our face on television, in the news, from 1992 to the present. And so it's very difficult to find people who didn't have an opinion on Hillary Clinton. And of course, Republicans nominated Donald Trump, who had been in our face, but in a different sphere, because he was in the entertainment side of things. And so people knew him as an entertainer, a host of a TV show. And so he managed to get the Republican nomination for president. By the way, he had been thinking about running for president as early as 2000. And I am among the political scientists who ignored that. So I was quite surprised when he announced he was running in 2015, and I didn't think he had a chance. But in fact, he actually hired some people who knew a little bit about politics, and he is an excellent reader of the national mood. And so because of that, and because he could market himself like crazy, because of that, he was simply too tough to beat to get the nomination on the Republican side. And so he did. He vanquished, I think there was 16 other people running against him. He vanquished them very, very easily and got the nomination. Came down to election night, and most experts gave Hillary Clinton about a 99% chance of winning the presidency. There was one pollster, he runs a company called 538, that said that Hillary Clinton has a 2 in 3 chance of winning the presidency, 67%. And he was the most generous towards Donald Trump in figuring out who might win the presidency. It came down to election night, and when the returns started coming in from Florida, You knew that something was amiss because the expectation was that Clinton would win in Florida, and the race was simply too close to call. And then states around the Great Lakes started turning towards Donald Trump. And about 1 o'clock in the morning here in Central Time, we all became aware of the reality that Hillary Clinton had lost the election. And Donald Trump won. And it turns out in the analysis of the election that Donald Trump has a couple of strengths. Number one, he is very good at getting white male voters. Number two, he is very, very good at getting voters who do not have any college education. He speaks to a resentment that many of those voters have against educated elites. So, he also very, very good at getting rural voters and getting them to support his campaign. Okay? So, let's take a look at the numbers related to this election. Got my magic marker here, and we'll do this. Clinton and Hillary Clinton received 65,844,954 votes. That's popular votes. And Donald Trump received 62,979,879 popular votes. These are the votes that are cast by the people. But as you know, the Constitution says we don't elect people by the popular vote. We elect people by the Electoral College, which really comes down to states. And how many states do you win? And if you win the largest 11 states, you can win the presidency without winning any other state. But if you can't win the largest 11 states, then somehow you have to find a path through those other states. Donald Trump knew he was not going to win the 11 largest states. He was not going to win California, our largest state. He was not going to win New York, our next largest state. He was not going to win Illinois. So he had to find a way to win. And in the end, here's really the tale. Donald Trump won 30 states, and Hillary Clinton won 20 plus the District of Columbia. Okay? So Donald Trump went, and if you look at the United States, what he did is he focused on the rural states in the Midwest, the states in the Mountain West, the states around the Great Lakes, and the southern states. He basically ignored the West Coast and largely ignored most of the East Coast except for those southern states. You put them all together and you end up with a Donald Trump victory. Even though she got more votes from the people, she got substantially less states. This is a possibility that could happen again in 2020. It's happened previously in our history. The most recent time was the election of 2000, Bush versus Gore. So, what we've got is Donald Trump plotting this same strategy, trying to get the same states to win the election. Okay? Now, here's the other thing that I get a big kick out of with the 2020 election. Okay? So, this is how much money did the candidates spend. Hillary Clinton spent $639 million on the election. That's a lot of money, okay? It's not the greatest amount that's ever been spent. Barack Obama in 2012 spent $1 billion. She had hoped to raise and spend $1 billion, but she simply was unsuccessful at raising that much money. Still, this is an incredible amount of money. It's the greatest amount of money ever raised by a candidate who's not named Obama. Okay? $639 million. Donald Trump, and this is what's so interesting about Donald Trump, is that Donald Trump spent $302 million. He spent less than half of what she did. Okay? $302 million. Now, okay, how did he win? It's very simple. Donald Trump knows the power of what is called free media. He paid for some commercials, yes, he did. But every time he tweeted, he knew that people would be talking about him. Okay? And that is called free. It doesn't cost anything to tweet, as you all know. You just do it. And he tweeted in a provocative manner that made people talk about him. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, with this amount of money, she tweeted too, but her tweets were boring. Nobody cared about them. Okay? Donald Trump mastered free media, and it's estimated that you put a cost on what he used out of the free media, those tweets and the resulting conversation about him, the resulting arguments about him, it's estimated that he would have spent $2 billion. But he didn't. By the way, this $302 million, about $100 million of that is Donald Trump's own money. Okay, what he did is he flew on his own plane. He stayed at his own hotels. So he, in essence, donated that to his campaign. So in the end, he only raised about $200 million. Okay? Now, I say all this because it just came out that Joe Biden, in 1 month, the month of August, raised $365 million. In 1 month, Joe Biden raised $365 million. Donald Trump did not raise that much money. This is an incredible amount. He raised in 1 month more than Donald Trump spent in the whole campaign of 2016. Raised this much money? Look at that. He raised half of what she spent in the whole campaign. He is going to outspend what Hillary Clinton did. The question is, will he outspend what Donald Trump does? As president, he gets free media because he's in the news all the time. But because he continues to tweet, he gets more free media. Joe Biden's tweets are boring. I've seen them. They're really boring. So everybody focuses on Trump's tweets. All right? We'll see where this election goes. Can't wait to find out. Election day is November 3rd.